as administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency. Gale Norton also won Senate approval to be Secretary of the Interior today. Norton's vote of 75 to 24 was a lot closer because Democrats fear she won't do enough to protect the nation's land and water. Meantime, President Bush promoted his plan to help the nation's needy today with a visit to a school in Northeast. Mr. Bush's trip to the fishing school comes just one day after he signed executive orders that will let religious groups compete for federal grants. The president says government aid can help create or even fund more programs like the ones at fishing. Fox 5's Karen Gray Houston takes us inside the school.
Right, we'll put capital W here.
The fishing school is an after-school program. For the past 11 years, the school has helped keep inner-city kids off the streets. The students learn computer literacy, Spanish, get help with academics, and a heavy dose of spiritual enrichment.
It teaches them respect. It teaches them how they ought to handle themselves.
We have tutors that help us with our homework.
Each day begins with a song and a prayer. The school is run by Tom Lewis, a retired D.C. police officer. Lewis says he's short-staffed, but his work nurturing youngsters and offering workshops to make better parents now has the attention of the president.
As a result of the things that we're doing here, we're hoping that it could be replicated in towns and little small areas, needed areas all over our country.
As far as the separation of church and state in President Bush's initiative, it's not really that much of a concern of most of the staff and parents here at the fishing school.
Well, my grandmother, she didn't know how to read and write. And, you know, she was able to eventually get a GED, you know, and, you know, from what she learned from the church, you know, having school, you know, little school at church.
On Wednesday nights, some of D.C.'s finest read to students at the school, and the city's top cop thinks Mr. Bush's call for aid for faith-based projects is right on target.
I don't have those concerns at all. I just want to see some results out here. There are a lot of faith-based groups that are doing an awful lot of good work with community, and some of them are operating on a shoestring and go under because they can't get any kind of support.
The president's second trip into the district in his 2 weeks in office hasn't gone unnoticed.
This is the opportunity for him to get to see what we do in the community to help our children here in the community.
In Northeast Washington, Karen Gray Houston, Fox 5 News.
The fishing school helps kids in grades 1 through 8 and is open to people of all faiths. The school gets its money from four programs from individual donors and private foundations.
Money's on a lot of people's minds tonight. We're less than an hour away from the second largest big game drawing ever. The jackpot is up to $103 million. The big game played in 7 states, including Maryland and Virginia. Stay with Fox 5. We will call tonight's winning numbers right across the bottom of your screen after our program. Now, if you hit that big jackpot, you'll be able to buy yourself some of the latest high-tech toys. Behind those gadgets are a lot of geniuses, and then you've got the geniuses who sell them. Nowhere is that more apparent this week than at the Washington Convention Center. Fox 5's Noel Tucker joins us from the Fox 5 Net Center for an inside look at the annual COMNET Conference and Expo.
That's right, Mike. You know, this conference isn't open to the public. It's for people who use words like broadband and convergence in their daily business, people who make money off of having the latest technology. It just so happens the latest technology is not so easy to find.
This is very big.
It's a must-have type of product.
Let me guess, you've got the latest must-have technology?
But of course we do.
But of course, just ask around at the COMNET Conference and Expo. Every booth has the latest technology, or so they say.
They have good products, but what they've basically done is try to retrofit what they have today with new interfaces.
In other words, this vendor says, watch out for old technology posing as cutting edge. Of course, to find out just what vendors are selling, you'll first have to get past the gladiators.
And welcome to the Circuit's Maximus Training Academy.
Or up the stairs, or through the jungle.
We get their attention, then they come in and find out about our products and find out it's something they really find they need.
Turns out only about 1 of every 4 vendors has a bona fide new product, and even they often use gimmicks. The laptop on a scooter demonstrates WorldCom's new wireless internet, 6 times faster than its competitors.
Speed is everything in the internet game, and broadband access, and especially mobile broadband access, has been the holy grail up till now.
The wireless modem will let you log on to the internet anywhere, anytime. It's one of 23 high-tech gizmos in this year's prestigious new product contest. Winning this year's title will help WorldCom in its chase for the much sought-after prosumer.
Professional/consumer market.
Still, running its latest ad on a sheet of rain couldn't hurt. With more than 400 competing booths, it seems even the digital revolution needs a salesperson. And of course, every salesperson needs a pitch. That wireless modem is available in only 7 U.S. cities right now, but will be coming to Baltimore within a few weeks and D.C. within a few months. The COMNET Conference runs through Thursday. Live in the Net Center, Noel Tucker, Fox 5 News.
Thank you, Noel. And a reminder, the conference is for companies and industry insiders only. It is not open to the general public. Oh, heck.
It's beneficial for your baby, and tonight comes word that it could help stop you from getting a deadly disease. Some surprising new facts about breastfeeding a little bit later on.
I would compare it to fingerprinting for the new millennium.
It's more precise than a footprint. Newborn identification going high-tech.
A local man scoops down on a doggone problem. We'll be right back.
The thrill continues at Toyota with Toyotathon 01, the blockbuster event with the power to bring you savings on best-selling Toyotas. Come in now and celebrate Camry, America's best-selling car, and yours today with savings starting at over $1,000. Add factory-to-dealer incentives for even bigger savings. Camry's a great value, well-equipped for under $20,000. Toyotathon 01. Experience the thrill at your Toyota dealer now.
Valentine's Day is coming, and Zales has the perfect gift. Diamonds set in white gold for only $99. Let the romance begin at Zales stores nationwide or shop online at Zales.com.
It doesn't matter how it shatters. Who repairs it does. Royal Auto Glass. We're right around the corner.
A lot of people have their own different styles.
If you like it and you feel confident with it, you shouldn't really care about what other people think about it.
Lucretia is my niece, and Colette and Carolyn, they are her friends.
Walmart has great clothes for spring.
And mix and match and do everything with it.
They encourage each other. They help each other, like peas and pod.
I pick out the shoes. She picks out the accessories. Lucretia picks out the clothes.
I love shopping with these girls. They keep me young.
At Walmart, shopping together is fun.
So the three of us together make the perfect outfit.
It's your shopping cart, a breakfast table, your corner office. It's your car. Take care of it. Take it to Midas and get your oil changed for only $19.95 plus a free courtesy check. We'll check the lights, coolant, wiper blades, vital fluids, and more. Keep a good thing going with our oil change for $19.95 plus a free courtesy check. Go Midas.
Come play with the NBA. NBA All-Star Jam Session, presented by Fleer, is coming to the Washington Convention Center, February 8th through the 11th. Jam Session is the ultimate interactive basketball experience. Tickets are going fast, so order now through Ticketmaster or MCI Center box office. For more info, log on to NBA.com.
This is Jihadi White of the Washington Wizards, and I'll see you at Jam Session.
Jam Session, presented by Fleer, is brought to you by IBM, McDonald's, and Upper Deck.
No place like home, but is there something about your neighborhood that really bothers you a lot?
And how far would you go to change it? Fox 5's Holly Morris got the scoop from someone in Dupont Circle who's definitely making neighborhood news by giving it his doggone best.
Phil Carney has lived in Dupont Circle for nearly 20 years. He loves his neighborhood, but admits there is something about it that kind of stinks.
DuPont Circle Citizens Association decided years ago that it was a real problem with dogs doing their business on the streets.
Of course, the problem isn't really the dogs themselves, but their owners who fail to pick it up when it happens. So with that in mind, Phil takes a walk, not with his dog, but as a dog.
Who let the dogs out?
Meet Scoop, Dupont Circle's dog with a message.
Be a good human. Scoop your pet's poop.
It's a message no more complex than that. But for Scoop, it's a message worth barking about almost every week.
The real problem is keeping the sidewalks clean. One, so you don't step in it, and two, because rats eat it, and it's a health issue.
Scoop started out as just a character on signs put up by the Dupont Citizens Association to remind dog owners of their responsibility. But they didn't want to waste such a good idea and decided to make the mutt's message more personal.
Are you a good human?
Yes, I am.
You scoop your pet's poop?
Yes, I do.
Hey!
And while a life-size dog demonstrating in Dupont Circle may look a bit funny, the fine for not following this furry friend's advice is anything but $100. Though thanks to Scoop, lately there haven't been too many of those tickets written.
The sidewalks are a lot cleaner. A lot cleaner. I mean, it's a noticeable difference. So I think Scoop has made a difference in the neighborhood.
Who let the dogs out?
And I guess you could say for Phil Carney, it's all in a dog's day's work. Holly Morris, Fox 5 News.
Hey, and listen to this. If you have a similar problem in your neighborhood, the Dupont Circle Citizens Association is willing to help. The group sells their scoop signs for $25 each or $8 if you buy in bulk. If you're interested, there's the number to call, 202-265-3222.
The mad cow scare has now been linked to a popular candy. Why it's being pulled off store shelves? Next.
It's sold in stores and has been linked to a long list of killer illnesses, but soon your doctor might actually prescribe medication made from tobacco as a cure.
I'm here at Shoppers, where customers can compare and save in every aisle.
That's right. At Shoppers, you can compare and save with no card needed.
We compared Shoppers prices with Giant and Safeway,
And Shoppers was the winner with over 30,000 everyday low prices.
At Shoppers, I save over $49 a week.
Dole Pineapple Fruit Bowls, 4-pack 4-ounce cups, 3 for $5. Angel Soft Bath Tissue, 24 roll pack, 2 for $9. And Overcut Green Beans, 38-ounce can for 89 cents.
So compare and save at Shoppers, your everyday low price leader.
What kind of rooms you got?
King size.
You got room service?
Donuts and coffee.
Got entertainment?
All rooms have every movie ever made in every language, anytime, day or night.
How is that possible?
Could your business use the bandwidth to change everything? Ride the light. Quest.
Did you hear that? That's the sound of the special kind of clean we quilt into every sheet of Quilted Northern.
Black tissue doesn't have it.
All that quilting leaves you feeling clean. Squeaky clean.
Quilted Northern or Quilted Clean.
What are those? Lint brushes.
To prove which bathroom tissue leaves less lint.
Look how much lint Charmin leaves.
Ooh, I don't want that on me.
But Quilted Northern is made to leave less lint.
Lint, who knew?
Quilted Northern or Quilted Clean.
Right now, you can lease an amazing 2001 Isuzu Rodeo for as low as $199 a month with only $11.94 due at lease signing. That's right, just $199 a month with only $11.94 due at lease signing. But that's not all. You also get America's longest warranty with Isuzu's 10-year, 120,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So see your nearest Isuzu dealer today.
Fox 5 News at 10 is brought to you by Isuzu.
We all know that breastfeeding is beneficial to your newborn baby, but now a new study says it can help moms too by cutting your risk of breast cancer in half. The Yale University study looked at women in China. Researchers found that breastfeeding reduced exposure to estrogen and the regular female hormone cycles. Also, carcinogens and pollutants are not stored as much in lactating breast. New moms or old, you probably know that footprints, baby footprints, are kept on record shortly after the birth of your child. Well, those could one day be replaced or supplemented by more modern ways of identifying your newborn. In tonight's On-Call report, how blood samples from your baby are now being preserved for their DNA.
First of all, you always have to prep the skin with alcohol because you want to keep it clean.
It takes just one poke to collect blood samples from newborns that can be used for DNA identification. The sample is drawn at the same time blood is collected for tests mandated by law. Once it dries on treated filter paper, Trevor's parents have a way to identify him that is much more precise than a footprint.
I would compare it to fingerprinting for the new millennium.
The sample can later be used by emergency officials or police in the event of a crime or a natural disaster. It's part of a voluntary program several hospitals across the country are now offering as a free service to new parents, just in case.
If someone was to abduct their child, they could find out by DNA testing. They have the blood sample.
Trevor's parents will take the kid home with them and store it in a safe place, a prospect some parents are uncomfortable with.
So I do like the idea that we have the only sample or copy of it.
A copy many parents are keeping but hope they'll never really need to use. That program is becoming more and more widespread now, but it started about 2 years ago in Central Florida. Mike?
The international mad cow emergency is now linked to some popular candy. Mamba is a chewy fruit treat, I should say, that is very popular in Europe and in some parts of the United States, especially in New York City. The candy is made in Germany, distributed all over the world. Mamba has beef gelatin in it, and some fear it could be linked to cows infected with that brain-wasting mad cow disease. Poland has already pulled that candy off the shelves. There's been no official recall yet here in the United States. Tobacco is, of course, blamed for causing millions of deaths, and Maryland officials announced they will actually pay farmers to stop growing the cancer-causing crop. And in Virginia, the state is actually encouraging some farmers to grow tobacco, but this tobacco is different, and instead of killing, it may save lives. Fox 5's Patrick McGrath explains how scientists are transforming tobacco.
Long before the American Revolution, tobacco was the lifeblood for colonial farmers. It was the currency as well as the crop. And even now, centuries later, tobacco farms still grace the countryside. And in Virginia, the leaves curing and the picturesque ventilated barns still represent the state's largest cash crop. But the annual harvest is only 1/4 of what it was a century ago, and that decline is easy to see.
This is a very common sight in the countryside of Virginia, Maryland, and other tobacco-growing states. Old barns literally falling down because farmers have gotten out of the tobacco business.
Don Wright is a tobacco farmer in southwestern Virginia.
I'm 63 years old, so that's all I've known all my life, since a child, even before I started school.
But when Wright began tobacco farming many decades ago, cigarette smoking was an accepted, even a glamorous activity. But there is no longer serious dispute that smoking causes lung cancer, and that has led to hard times for tobacco farmers.
We've had many difficulties to face, the federal government intervening, the lawsuits.
But Wright and some other Virginia tobacco farmers have new hope. They have been involved in an experiment growing genetically altered tobacco, not for smoking, but hopefully to create life-saving medicines. The driving force behind this revolutionary idea is microbiologist Carol Kramer.
We're learning what causes disease in the body. And among the things, we now have a gene that's associated with breast cancer, one with cystic fibrosis. That if we can use the human body's own proteins, you're going to get better drugs that are more selective. But the question is, how do you make them in large amounts? You can't go around harvesting human bodies.
So Kramer decided to try harvesting human protein from the tobacco plant.
It's the easiest plant to genetically engineer. One of the advantages, again, of tobacco is it's basically a weed. It's a very good grower, and you get very nice, supple leaves that are very, very easy to extract the protein from.
With encouragement from Virginia Tech, where she is a professor, Kramer founded Crop Tech, and in a laboratory near the Blacksburg campus, and a staff of technicians put small tobacco pieces, cut from ordinary plants, into a solution containing human DNA.
All of these little green parts are where new DNA has gone in, and it's starting to make a new plant.
And the little plants grow bigger and develop roots, then are transplanted into small soil containers. And finally, they're moved to a climate-controlled greenhouse, where they grow to maturity with flower pods.
Each one of those pods contains literally hundreds of seeds, and you're having, 50 to 100 seed pods on each flowering head. And this is literally enough right here in that bag that you could plant 10 to 100 acres of tobacco.
The tobacco that is grown from the genetically altered seeds is harvested before it flowers, so it will not spread beyond the experimental fields. Then this tobacco biomass is returned to crop tech, where it is shredded in the same kind of machine that makes coleslaw. It is the cutting of the tobacco that turns on the implanted genes. The protein created on the edge of the cutting can be seen by its dark blue color. The turned-on tobacco is then reduced to a liquid form and run through high-tech equipment that separates the human proteins from the tobacco proteins. And it is this purified human protein that will go to drug companies that need it for experimental new medicines. Among its potential uses, a clot-dissolving drug to prevent strokes and heart attacks, and a drug to fight cancer.
We have two of those products currently under very early research and development. One that would target certain reproductive cancers, and one that actually would target lung cancers.
Imagine tobacco used to cure lung cancer. Don Wright loves it.
Here's an opportunity for us to do something for mankind. It's a bit ironic, isn't it?
Clinical testing of drugs made from this genetically altered tobacco will begin in the year 2002, and it will be several years after that before this notorious plant, hopefully, will be put to work making people healthy, not sick. From Blacksburg, Virginia, Patrick McGrath, Fox 5 News.
The scientists tell Pat that there is no risk that the proteins made from the tobacco plants will carry human disease like AIDS or hepatitis.
Isn't that fascinating?
Fascinating story. Yes, it sure was.
How would your car hold up if you got into a fender bender? Brace yourself, folks. The results of a crash test that may shock you.
Plus, a plot against Prince William is uncovered tonight. We'll be right back.